Start recording. Start streaming again. 11:15. Somebody shut my fucking speaker off. They did it in a way where I have to go through like a bunch of shit to start the fucking thing again. Open folder. Yeah, it's incredibly annoying.
There's nothing else worth doing, really. The world stopped. Hey, Hassan, wanna
Trader.
save the world today.
Okay. Wait, what? You found it? Not safe for work?
Else worth doing, really.
What the fuck? Donald Trump fucks Michael Cohen's daughter? What? But that's not Michael Cohen, though. You did it. This is also pedophilic, dude. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Still not Michael Cohen, though. Why did they let people write stuff like that?
I was about to say, I don't care who fucked anybody unless it was a crime, and then it's a crime. Yeah.
Jail. That person should be in jail. If you're allowed to write stuff like that, you should go to jail. What the fuck do you mean underage sex? As a like specific, it's like a specific tab. That site is the real free speech absolutist? Okay, well, burn it to the ground, you know, burn it with fire. How is that allowed? There are published books worse than what's available at Barnes & Noble and other book retailers. Many academia underage books, man, shaking my head. Anyway, let's get back to third way neoliberalism.
Approach is the way Democrats win. Hear me out. Since 1980, Democrats have only won the White House once without winning a supermajority of moderate voters nationwide. So what does that actually mean for us? Mamdani won just 36% of the moderate vote. Take that and extrapolate it nationwide, and the results are bad. Like, bad. Compare that to moderate, like Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger.
Just real winners, honestly. Real charismatic figures we'll be hearing quite a bit from.
Who won more than 60% of the moderate votes. Just look what happens when you apply those margins of victory nationwide. That's the difference between electoral ruin and renewal. Are you ready?
Hi, it's us, the centrist establishment that's been running the Democratic Party and produced every Dem nominee in recent history. Things are going really great for us, right? So we have some advice for how Dems can keep up our awesome win record in 2028. Yep. It's incredible that these guys still get to chirp and they haven't been like ritualistically humiliated and pushed out of every orifice of polite society. Because this is what the donors want. And because it's what the donors want, they keep churning out the same fucking dumbass propaganda. Here is the proof that this kind of shit is stupid.
Income inequality is getting larger and larger by the year. People are going to unite and say we're done with this.
For too long in our city, freedom has belonged only to those who can afford to buy it. Our city hall will change that.
That, or we're going to need to send a lot more young men to Tokyo.
Japan had changed me in many ways. Because if I didn't go there, I don't know how I would be politically. I don't know where I would be in my life. I've always thought like money would buy happiness and all this stuff. And then I realized there's more to life, and how in a country like Japan or some of the Scandinavian countries, they don't have to worry about bills as much. They don't have to worry about medical debt. I it. I wish folks could go there and see firsthand, and then come back and call me.
It really is white boy Mecca, bro. This dude went to the Hajj. This dude went to Hajj for white men and came back with a renewed interest I mean, he didn't even go to a socialist country. He just went to a country with like modest social safety nets, and that was enough. Because when you're in America and you go to any country, no matter how many issues exist in said country, it's still going to be infinitely better in comparison to the United States of America.
Communist.
Anyway, there's a good video from FD Signified B-Sides about how these are not unprecedented times. Is it all just him talking? Okay, maybe I won't watch it then if it's just him talking. We need visual stimulation. The terrifying world of looks maxing.
Yeah, sincerely. That it did it twice. It played the song twice on accident, actually. This shouldn't be on repeat. And then he said anyway at like the same exact point both times. And you know, it's fine. You could have made like a statistical chart of common words and words he specifically says a lot, and then how often you could expect them to synchronize. And it's like just kind of like interesting and funny. And yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be like, oh my god, this is my new religion. It's just like really interesting and sciency. Oh man. I imagine somebody saying, dude, we've been getting people to do this since forever. To play music with like a movie. Talkies and silent films and shit. Like, it wasn't a new idea in any sense. And then we made a religion out of it. And nobody knew about it. And you like found it on accident, fucking around. And now, and people thought stuff. Why would they have time, room, ability to think stuff unless they were stalking me, by the way? They'd have to be stalking me to think something. Oh, just absolute terrorism. Someone what, twice now tonight. Someone has sprayed some shit into my unit. Just fucking evil bullshit, dude. Who cares if you like me or not? I live in my apartment. Who cares if you fucking liked me? Get fucked! No one needs to ever fucking care whether someone likes them so much that they can't fucking just live in their own home. Fucking monsters. And fuck you for putting me through this just so you can uphold the same fucking power shit that's always been, probably. It's some, like, already defined argument, and they're just making you fucking, like, run through a maze they've already designed and run through a million times. Like, fuck this shit. Traumatizing fucking asshole. Anyway.
The world stops for no one but
Let's do that instead.
Jimmy here, and today I'll
How
teach you
many
5
people
We gotta do more fun
tricks
shit.
to fill that empty void in your soul.
How many stories
Looks
will
Maxon,
go
you've probably heard of it if you've been on the internet lately. Bone smashing,
The caucasity.
Oh my god, I totally lost my place. I have no idea where it was. Yeah, I wanted to say, isn't it funny to think of, like I play something and it just syncs up to what I'm playing, and that's why it seems like so synchronized. And somehow it, like, maneuvers while you are doing shit. Yeah, kind of like Bandersnatch, but instead of picking something, it follows, like, whatever you're playing music in your apartment, it picks up on something about it and then chooses, like, a scene to play. And if it does it, like, in 10-second intervals or something, and it is streamlined enough to sound like a... Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, an AI system eventually. And then it feels like you're having, like, a real argument with someone, or, like, you're really doing anything, and it really is, like, just a algorithm of potential responses. And they're just, like, lined up in such a way that it feels like a streamlined single event or conversation or moment. And it's like, yeah, you would only notice if they made them change their shirt every time they said something. Like, and it just, yeah, flips through. Yeah, exactly. Like the way the song played out twice on accident, and he said anyway again. It, like, the same place. That just happened 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm just thinking of how something could work in a sci-fi world. I'm not saying that's...
How many have already slipped through the cracks all over the world?
that we
It
already
would have to happen
Look,
on both sides
we already
of
know
any
how
conflict.
colonialism ends. We've seen
But
this
if
film
every
before.
soul
India in revolt.
Protesters smoked out by the police. Here's why invading
we
Greenland,
do not
the easy
care
way or the hard
so
way,
kill each
would
other
be bad for America and
Who would be
for the
there
world.
to punish them
I think I need some fresh air.
allowing peace?
Danish missionaries invaded Greenland in 1721, slowly
What
taking
if
over
they
the country.
deserve to be
And for
haunted?
250 years, we did whatever we wanted to. Basically going full colonial on them. Even in the 20th century, we were inserting IUDs into Greenlandic women to limit the population. We were separating.
This guy's woke as fuck, by the way. Holy shit. I mean, he's not even holding back on what the kingdom did.
Separating Greenlandic children from their families, sending them to Denmark. Horrible stuff. We even let America build military bases in Greenland. During the Cold War, you guys had 10,000 troops based there. You even crashed a B-52 carrying 4 nuclear bombs there in 1968. Remember?
The hunt is on to locate the...
I've seen enough. I'm signing up for the military before siding with a Eurocuck. No, this is not a Eurocuck. My man, this is who I'm talking about when I say there's European Hazabi heads that have to deal with the fucking Eurocucks. This is a guy who's very open about what his own kingdom has done, what his own country has done, and also a guy that's like warning against further incursions. He's not one of the fucking Asmongold chatters who's like, yes, very good. Papa Trump, I love Mark Rutte. I love Mark Rutte. Trump is daddy, yeah. He's the opposite. This guy's awesome.
Missing nuclear weapons.
So, what did we Danes learn from the past couple of centuries? Well, the obvious. No population is going to be happy with a foreign government ruling over them. The Greenlanders hated us for centuries. Some still do. So Trump invading Greenland is not gonna help America's place on the global stage, or at home. And I know he says he's the most popular president in the most popular country since the dawn of time.
I'm a very stable genius.
But trust me, he's not. And going old school colonial on Greenland is not gonna help. Anyway, back to the history lesson. In 1979, Greenland voted for greater autonomy from Denmark and to form its own government. And this is important because Trump keeps talking about buying Greenland.
The fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
Denmark doesn't own Greenland anymore. Greenland owns Greenland. Us Danes even asked the Greenlanders how they feel about being bought.
300,000 kroner.
No, he could never buy us. Ever in my life, I would...
500,000?
No.
You see, we know the Greenlanders. They're a proud indigenous.
You know what's funny about this is that a big part of the reason why a lot of Greenlanders don't want to be under colonial occupation by America, as opposed to being under colonial occupation by Denmark, is because they have robust social safety nets. Now, this doesn't mean that there isn't, like, issues beyond, right? With, I guess, like, the Danish colonial arrangement. But they still have a fuck-ton better quality of life despite living in Greenland, which is very cold. Like, imagine how fucking shit your marketing is. That these guys who are like, yeah, these other people like stole our children and, you know, forcibly put IUDs on us and all, just a whole bunch of awful shit that they did to us, and you know, we still choose to stay in the current formation that we're in, rather than allow America to come in and just you know, do probably worse things and also take away our health care.
These people who are not interested in being American. You can't just buy them off. So, Trump is running wild. He's kidnapping presidents, he's invading other countries without congressional approval, and frankly, we don't want that mess spilling into Greenland. Or Europe.
Can you warn your audience about him?
So again, that's why we're trying to speak to the manager.
What?
But Congress still isn't picking up the phone. Hello?
What? Warn my audience about what? Midas Touch Network will no longer be producing or carrying the show Political Beatdown or Mea Culpa with Michael Cohen. Wait, why? No, not my Michael. Not my Michael Cohen. Alright, in honor of... let me finish this, and then in honor of Michael Cohen, I'll do it. I'll do the thing.
Cherry pick, skinny kid dressed in all black, air mask taken down by 4 cops, pepper sprayed.
The Americans are determined to retrieve their bomb. We're still looking.
Hello?
If I tell you my story, don't cry for me. I did my time, that's fine by me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's fine by me.
one of the greatest ghosts of all time, Michael Cohen's podcast off of the Midas Touch Network, is gone. I've been on this podcast, by the way, for those of you who don't know.
Pepper sprayed in the face, hit with batons. Twisted, no resistance.
Oh, I did my time.
Michael Cohen admits he was coerced and pressured by Bragg and Letitia James to testify against Trump. The star witnesses flipped on the prosecutors. Cohen wrote that from his very first meetings he felt pressured and coerced to only provide information and testimony that would satisfy the government's desire to convict Trump. You're so spoiled. Stop trying to reach for the trees. That's crazy. That's crazy. Daddy's working right now, and I know you want the treats, but you can't get them. Stop. No. Stop. She literally thinks if she comes over, tries to reach for the treats, and then quickly go back to her place, that I will give her a treat. Okay? That's what's going on right now. That's literally what just happened. You watched it happen. She walked over, swinging her fat ass tail around like, oh yeah, if I do this. Why does she think that? Because I've done it every single time. I've done it because I am a bad dog dad. Because I have no self-control. I must stop myself from doing it this time around. This song made your reading of that tweet filled with infinitely more aura? Yeah. Let's keep going. He said James' office made clear the testimony they wanted was testimony that would help them go after President Trump. Trump called it a very corrupt investigation. Everyone knew. Now Cohen admits it. Source Daily Wire. Bars, undeniable. Stop denying her aid, you're literally Israel. That's not why, it's to do with Epstein. Lev Parnas, breaking news, the Epstein files just blew a hole in Michael Cohen's story. Has gone on TV, gone under oath, said the same thing. He knows nothing about the Epstein files, never heard them, never discussed them. What? I don't know what this is, man. A Rule 35 discussion isn't casual, it implies substance. Michael Cohen needs to come forward and tell the truth, all of it. Not selectively, not through proxies, not with half-bakes. The country deserves to know what was offered and what was known. And why it never saw the light of day. You made her that way? She's a treatlerite? Okay, that's true. Kaya is a treatlerite. It is true. So, Michael Cohen's back to MAGA? Is that what it is?
A better future for you, for me.
A Rule 35? I'm only familiar with Rule 34. And I definitely don't want to see Michael Cohen Rule 34. Okay, now I gotta Google Michael Cohen Rule 34. Let's see if the internet rule is correct. Michael Cohen Rule 34.
Basic freedoms, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly,
should I go to images?
Freedom of association, freedom of speech, freedom of media,
okay.
Freedom of information.
This is the closest. Advocate.com, OnlyFans video to gay adult video star.
To privacy.
Okay, it turns out Rule 34 is wrong. Michael Cohen has no pornographic material made of him. We just destroyed a really important internet rule. Until this very moment,
universal human rights or everything is bullshit.
The assumption is that. Now try with Grok.
And LGBTQIA plus women's rights, gender-based violence and reproductive rights, sexual orientation and gender identity.
That's why there's a Rule 35. I guess. Oh, this is awesome too, by the way. Third Way is still tweeting. Third Way is still going crazy. I have to look at what Third Way neoliberals are saying recently.
Sexual violence.
The rule is that if there isn't porn, there will be eventually. Okay, after today, we'll check back again. See if they've made porn about Michael Cohen.
Are you ready for a Vance presidency? Because that's exactly what we'll end up with if we nominate a far-left Mamdani-like candidate in 2028. The November elections proved what we've been arguing for months. The Democratic Party has to choose which project is more important, turning blue places bluer or turning red and purple places to blue. We know that focusing on the latter is the only way to defeat Trump and far-right extremism. History has shown that a moderate approach...
These are my biggest ops. These are the people that I have to duke it out with. These are the establishment liberals who say we got to keep moderating. We need more Republican adjacent Democrats. We need more Republicans. They should be treated as infiltrators. Okay? Wait, what? You found it? Not safe for work? What the fuck? Donald Trump fucks Michael Cohen's daughter? What? But that's not Michael Cohen, though. You did it. This is also pedophilic, dude. What the fuck? Still not Michael Cohen, though. Why did they let people write stuff like that? That person should be in jail. That person should be in jail. If you're allowed to write stuff like that, you should go to jail.
Judicial independence, foreign policy, free and democratic
what the fuck do you mean underage sex?
For past human rights violations.
It was the same thought, like Ivanka Trump. You know, how fucked is your life? That's the shit people are gonna say about you. They have access to, like, all the lawyers under the sun. Why don't they, like, just be like, hey, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, is there a way to do it so it's not about freedom of speech? It's just, like... violating. I wouldn't want to be them. Yeah, your life got turned into a really gross sex joke. It's not even like a regular sex joke. Oh, they're so sexy, blah, blah, blah. And like people objectifying you or whatever. It's like, yeah, maybe they just don't give a fuck. And they do other things with their lives. Yeah, fuck the haters type of. Because you could get trapped in litigation for decades and then just come out looking like a freedom of speech violator because you're like, this is really fucked up, dude. Well, yeah, why not just make a video and say, look, this is fucked up. And it just becomes like a social standard instead of like a... It is really fucking gross. Yeah, could you not? And then you get all these people that... Why do you think this is funny? Yeah, because major ew. And then, in another way, you ruin the, like, daddy thing. Where it's not about your fucking father. It's like, you'd be like the daddy of my baby. You're my baby daddy. That's how you're daddy. When he says, when Takaya, like, daddy said no, it's really cute. It is cute and charming and funny. And it's like ruining that. Because you make it too, not just real, you make it like about, what is the word for it? Literal stuff. And it makes you want to vomit, like your insides got pulled out through your throat. Like, it is the definition of wretched. Yeah, did you want to, like, destroy somebody's, like, sexual personality? Yeah, it's just more like, could you stop? Yeah, it's not supposed to be literal. you. And that's how you disturb a person.
Legislative and institutional framework, barriers to education.
Specific. It's like a specific tab.
Natural disaster recovery, death squads, political oppression.
That side is the real free speech absolutist. Okay, well, burn it to the ground. You know, burn it with fire. How is that allowed?
I just realized it's like he also said it inside of what he was saying, because you say burn it with fire, burn it to the ground. You don't mean literally. You're not condoning someone actually commit arson. It is an emotional sentiment. It's in music. It's in movies. You can't just like take that away from people. Like they can't express themselves that way by saying it. It is kind of like a similar thing. Not supposed to be literal. The fact that they make you over-explain it, like...
Accountability for torture by security forces, terrorism and counter-terrorism, conduct of security forces, police abuse, mandatory military...
There are published books worse than what's available at Barnes & Noble and other book retailers, many academia, underage books, man, shaking my head.
Military abuses and jurisdiction, public security and police conduct, violence by armed opposition groups, extrajudicial execution...
Anyway, let's get back to third way neoliberalism.
Approach is the way Democrats win. Hear me out. Since 1980, Democrats have only won the White House once without winning a supermajority of moderate voters nationwide. So what does that actually mean for us? Mamdani won just 36% of the moderate vote. Take that and extrapolate it nationwide, and the results are bad. Like, bad. Compare that to moderates, like Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Sandberger.
Just real winners, honestly. Real charismatic figures we'll be hearing quite a bit from.
Who won more than 60% of the moderate vote. Just look what happens when you apply those margins of victory nationwide. That's the difference between electoral ruin and renewal. Are you ready?
Intersectional solidarity.
Hi, it's us, the centrist establishment that's been running the Democratic Party and produced every Dem nominee in recent history. Things are going really great for us, right? So we have some advice for how Dems can keep up our awesome win record in 2028. Yep. It's incredible that these guys still get the chirp and they haven't been like ritualistically humiliated and pushed out of every orifice of polite society. Because this is, you know, this is what the donors want. And because it's what the donors want, they keep churning out the same fucking dumbass propaganda. Here is the proof that this kind of shit is stupid.
Income inequality is getting larger and larger by the year. People are going to unite and then say, we're done with this.
For too long in our city, freedom has belonged only to those who can afford to buy it. Our city hall will change that.
That, or we're gonna need to send a lot more young men to Tokyo.
Japan had changed me in many ways, because if I didn't go there, I don't know how I would be politically, I don't know where I would be in my life. I've always thought like money would buy happiness and all this stuff, and then I realized there's more to life, and how in a country like Japan or some of the Scandinavian countries, they don't have to worry about bills as much, they don't have to worry about medical debt. I got to see this social safety net, and I wish folks could go there and see firsthand, and then come back and call me.
It really is white boy Mecca, bro. This dude went to the Hajj. This dude went to Hajj for white men and came back with a renewed interest in I mean, he didn't even go to a socialist country. He just went to a country with like modest social safety nets, and that was enough. Because when you're in America and you go to any country, no matter how many issues exist in said country, it's still going to be infinitely better in comparison to the United States of America.
Communist.
Anyway, there's a good video from FD Signifier B-Sides about how These are not unprecedented times. Is it all just him talking? Okay, maybe I won't watch it then if it's just him talking. We need visual stimulation. The terrifying world of looks maxing. Let's do that instead.
Jimmy here, and today I'll teach you 5
We gotta do more fun
tricks
shit
to fill that empty void in your soul. Looks maxing. You've probably heard of it if you've been on the internet lately. Bone smashing, mewing, leg lengthening surgery. These days, in 2025, young lads are not out skateboarding and crushing punaan. Instead, they're staying indoors and making themselves really beautiful. Pumping themselves with testosterone, flying out to Poland to get their legs lengthened, and like hitting their cheekbones with a...
Resolutions, okay, buddy. First of all, Lesbo Leftist, I did do Okay Buddy yesterday. I did it yesterday. And I didn't really do resolutions this year because it's like, who fucking cares, honestly? Like, I'm already following through on my resolutions as I do every fucking year. It's the same shit. Lose weight, get a six-pack, don't get injured anymore, and read more books. That's the one big resolution that I've been following on is read more.
Am I beautiful yet? And I really kind of want to figure out why are they doing this? And for us to answer this question, we need to explore the evolution of male beauty standards, the evolution of masculinity, the effect all of this stuff is having on young men's mental health, and we need to explore the dark politics at the root of all of this. So today, we will explore looks maxing. So this video for me really starts back in summer, where I got an email from a company called Elite Hair who offered to sponsor me a hair transplant. I was kind of offended because I didn't need one. Look at this bad boy, come on. So what I did, I said I would agree to it if I'm allowed to say whatever I want and talk about the dark side of cosmetic surgery, which they agreed to, and if I can give the hair surgery to a friend that really fucking needs it. Amazingly, they agreed. And so here we must introduce my friend, Alex.
Just that I was suffering from like
Okay, that's pretty
for a
fire.
long time, and I actually made my own TikTok video about it. I was trying to say, if you have a haircut like this, it can help you look good. And
Damn, bro, he's cooking Alex right now. God damn, dude. At least he got a free fucking hair transplant out of it. God damn, though.
I was like, no, it doesn't.
Now my boy thought he was gonna, give some men inspiration if they're balding. Turned out the post backfired and he just got obliterated in the comments.
Oh. Bro's barber is a salesman.
They were pretty mild compared to some of the comments that we will go on to see in the Looks Maxing forums. So yeah, me and Alex, we headed out to Turkey. And as soon as you arrive, you see this conveyor belt of men, endless men, coming to Istanbul specifically just to get their hair done. And as soon as I saw the scale of this thing, there was one thought in my head. And that was that when I was growing up, when I was younger, it would have been unimaginable for a man to get a hair transplant back in the 2000s. And I'm not talking about the technology. It would have been unimaginable for the simple reason that if you got a hair transplant, all of your male friends would call you gay. If you grew up in the 90s or the 2000s, you'll remember this period of time where everyone would use the word gay as an insult.
Ian, wake up. Judge rolls in 20, so if you want to ride to work, you better get your poop in the groove.
Okay, I'll be right down.
No, now, Clay Aiken.
Alright.
No, now, homo. Give me a minute. No. Now, Sissy.
This is a very important phenomena for us in understanding the current obsession.
Dog, back in the 2000s, like it was forever ago. Okay, you want to hear something that's gonna fucking break you? The year 2000, for us, born in the 90s, is like the year 1970s, okay? The year 2000 is 26 years away from us right now. As in, for us born in the 90s, it would be akin to thinking about the 60s and 70s. Okay? Or the 70s and 80s. So when people who are 26 years old right now think about like the 2000s music, for us born in the 90s, it would be like music that you listen to in the 90s. Like, oh my god, that is, okay, this is incredibly someone is out of control. What is happening?
Be yourself. You do you, never
What could be going on right now? You can kind of see her wagging her tail too. She's like, What's that? What? This is what happens when you have a dog that's basically a cat, okay? But is 120 pounds. And has the capacity to fucking move you around. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
With looks maxing. So yeah, young boys growing up in the 90s and the 2000s were growing up in a very weird time because there were some major cultural shifts that were happening. Firstly, there was this big moral panic back in the 80s around gay people due to the AIDS epidemic. Gay people were basically being scapegoated for the spread of this disease. And in 1988 in the UK, there was a law that was passed called Section 28.
Now the rest of the news. The government is to ban the promotion of homosexuality in schools.
I obviously don't want children taught that the gay and lesbian lifestyle is natural or normal. It is not, it never has been, and it never will be.
This law made discussing homosexuality in school illegal. So you couldn't learn about it, you couldn't understand why people were gay or anything about it because the schools weren't allowed to tell you. Another shift that happened, back in the 70s and 80s was feminism. Women's participation into the workforce was on the increase, and the old male breadwinner identity of the past had been threatened. As well, the 90s was just after the 80s glam rock, gender-bending kind of era, where people like Prince and David Bowie were massive figures. I mean, look, Ricky Gervais used to dress like this. It was completely common in the 80s for men to dress like this. And so yeah, the 90s and the 2000s became this massive cultural backlash, like the pendulum swinging the other way, and resulted in this like cartoonishly hyper-masculine culture.
You son of a bitch. What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils?
I'm talking Rambo, I'm talking WWE, football hooliganism, lads mags. All of these things were basically telling men that, emotions are gay, beauty routines were definitely gay, fashion was gay. Any deviation from like baggy jeans, skate shoes and a t-shirt, and you would be scolded by the simple act of someone calling you gay. And what the word gay was doing when it was used as an insult was largely used as kind of a way for men to police other men's behaviours. But then, things would take a turn with the introduction of metrosexuality.
Just relax, because guess who's here? Guess who's here? I'll tell you who's here.
Sexiest man alive, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so David fucking Beckham, he rocks up wearing a sarong. The boy's skin glowing, moistured to perfection. Groomed stubble, jewellery, blonde highlights in his hair.
I was asked to shave it off when I first did it. I was sat in the changing room and I had a hat on at the time because Sir Alex Ferguson hadn't seen it. So obviously that was interesting when I took my hat off, and we had an hour before the kickoff and he said, go and shave it off.
Really? I have the same story where I think it might have been literally after he got the mohawk, but I got a mohawk as well. There's a photo of it somewhere out there. Chat has seen it before. But I got a mohawk, and the principal, we would do every Monday morning and every Friday afternoon, we would sing the national anthem in front of the entire school. All of the classes would line up. The principal, in front of the entire school, said, "Hassan, what the fuck is on top of your head?" I had a mohawk. She told me to get the fuck back to my house and shave it off, which I did. Another experimental thing I did was also when I shaved a racing line to the side of my head. That was another experimental moment that I had.
Sometimes I get the blues thinking about other people being alone and sad.
No, called you out in front of everyone? Yeah, no, I got called out in front of every single person before the Pledge of Allegiance, not even the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem was sung.
There wasn't a toll coming out of a mom person's vagina. Being alive. Existence.
There it is.
We pay the hospital, the doctor, but a society built in love wouldn't do that. The hospital, the doctor.
There's an even worse photo out there with me doing the with the mohawk too.
And just like we did for thousands of years.
Also, the spit goes kind of hard, huh? Like, that's what I look like. I think it's like 7th grade or 8th grade or something.
Some people only ever showed up long enough to be a memory, but wanna act like
is it this pic? No, that's not. That's the man bun era. Also another experimental phase that was bullshit. Made worse by the fact that I was so broke I had to shave my own head until it grew into a man bun. Okay, this is words? Okay, dude. Okay, yeah, none of you want to experiment. Shut the fuck up.
Like, the boy was pushing boundaries, right? And the thing is, ladies fucking loved him.
Let me just show you this picture. Do you feel shy here?
When mom finds a milk bag. Okay, I'm not gonna give you a week off. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes off for that. Because it's not a poop sock, but a milk bag instead.
He was literally married to Posh Spice, a major female celebrity. And for young boys, right, imagine what this was doing to their head. They're being told that they're only allowed to dress like a Tony Hawk's NPC, but increasingly male celebrities were looking more and more feminine. I mean, if you contrast David Beckham, Orlando Bloom, Jared Leto against fucking Sylvester Stallone, Vin Diesel, Arnold Schwarzenegger, clearly a contradiction was emerging. Next thing you know, it's 2010s, and if you're not wearing skinny jeans, squeezing your muscles into a tight Fred Perry, or you weren't getting your weekly skin fade or your nice tight top knot, all of a sudden, now you are the weird one. And like, I think that's interesting, right? How quickly, you know, traditional masculine roles changed in such a period of time. And maybe it's good that men were allowed to explore this stuff, but there was definitely one group of people that this was particularly good for: the beauty industry.
Men are getting prettier. The era of highlighting masculine macho beauty has faded, and now gormina, or pretty-faced men, are at center of the new fad for makeup.
The male beauty industry has exploded in recent years. I couldn't even find data on it back in like the 90s and the 2000s. That's how small it was. It went from being valued at 17.5 billion in 2015 to 202.6 billion in 2022. And that was the big thing I noticed at the Elite Hair Clinic, was that, honestly, from what I saw, it was like 90% men. And it's not that they don't offer stuff for women like they did, and you do see women there, but clearly men getting hair transplants has become like a core demographic, and that shocked me, because if you travel back 20 to 25 years ago, the beauty industry was entirely aimed at women. You know, women were the ones being tortured by magazines, you know, Cosmo, Glamour, Heat. Like, the stuff they would say to women was cruel. Like, they were being forced to be like super thin, to be like a size 0. For a period of time, they were being told that they need to chase the heroin chic and try and lose so much weight that you get like a thigh gap. And that's what the magazines did, right? They would shame women and force them to pursue like an unrealistic beauty standard. Why? So that they could sell them shit.
If you scroll through the hashtag self-care on TikTok, you'll see countless videos of women hoarding skincare products and indulging in beauty maintenance services. In the age of social media,
Hot dog diet socialism is thank you message.
Just so you know, this is part of the standard women and gender studies curriculum in college. Or the guys, you learn this in college. The exact same concept. Like, it is the standard. It is canon. It is academic. It's not just his fucking opinion. They tell you have wrinkles. Here, buy our fucking wrinkle cream that's designed to actually dry your face out. And you keep buying it, thinking it's like helping. And they make money. Somebody makes money. Yeah, it sucks. I've been comparing it to the concept of like the police showing up, fucking with you. And so then you need to call the police. But they're the ones fucking with you. Like, they created the problem that they would solve. They create the problem that they would solve. They create the problem that they would solve. Exactly that. Son of a bitch. And then some detail about I'm that girl that wasn't trying to conform to shit, but you still impacted me. It like comes to define your entire life whether you give a fuck or not. Whether I want to be confident in my body no matter what it is. I don't want plastic surgery. I don't need to jump through hoops for you. I don't need to be a size 0. I'll find my own way through this. But you still get like scarred from the shit everybody else thinks and says, and I was obese in high school, like my BMI. I was obese in college. For some reason I fell to 144 pounds in 2023, and I still don't know why. It's like I lost muscle and shit and then gained weight back on top of it. I don't know what I weigh right now. And then having people like dictate their life based on numbers on the scale, it becomes this like, even if you're one of these, oh, I'm above this, I've got confidence type of people, regardless of your gender, it like eats at you. Well, because it's actually really not attractive to be somebody that's like counting calories and obsessed with, and you're always constantly like remarking on your body. Like you have body dysmorphia, sweetie. You have like an illness. You have a negative reaction. Like it's not. Yeah, that shit's not cute. It's not confidence. It's not inspiration. It doesn't make people feel good about themselves unless you're talking about like, oh yeah, I feel like shit too. You feel like shit, I feel like shit too. That's about as much as it stops being like helpful to people. Then you just start feeding into each other's like body dysmorphia. So yeah, trying to stay on top, like confidence in yourself, your value, your value is not defined by your fucking body. If you got hit by a bus and completely mauled, like there's some person in you that's still you, no matter what the fuck happens. And like that's what you're about. And what you're about matters more than any other fucking thing you can just see or you were just born with or some genetic blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm also telling myself, like as a reminder, what you're about matters more than what you look like. It's always supposed to. Like, don't forget that. Because, yeah, this shit, it sucks. It's its own kind of traumatizing.
Mods, thank you for making my kids' year via social listeners. It was priceless. I was thrilled by the first few packages and shocked when they kept on arriving. We had second Christmas and it was perfect. A massive surprise seeing them make the best of our first Christmas. They homemade gifts and I wrap groceries. Made me so proud. I'm late with this. They had an extra long break and I don't use Twitch, etc. when they're home, but needed to say it. Thank you. Hell yeah, hot dog diet. Let's go.
Consumerism has hijacked the concept of self-care, reducing it to products and services geared towards external validation.
But now, right, from like the mid-2010s onward, for the first time in like modern history, we were seeing these same marketing strategies being used on men.
To answer the question, which is why is it that, young men and women continue to sacrifice parts of their lives in order to get more and more and more and more, I think it's because aside of the immediate financial relief, consumerism is built. I mean, you've spoken about this. Consumerism is built on a sense of inadequacy.
But it wasn't just the potential to sell beauty products to men that would give rise to what has now become looks maxim. There were other things that were happening in the background that was creating a deeper insecurity in young men. According to a 2024 UK data report. Fewer and fewer young people are having sex or having relationships compared to past decades. Almost half of American Gen Z men report having zero romantic experience in their teens. And a lot of this can really directly be tied to the post-2010s decrease in what is called third places. Third places being just, communal places outside of your home and your work. Places that you can just hang out, socialize. They have been shutting down at an alarming rate, and you can see it in the data. And it's kind of obvious, right? If it costs you like £100 to leave your house to get some food, some beer, and do some activity, well, if you have a generation of young people that are making less and less money as prices are going up to do activities, doom scrolling TikTok looks maxing videos and swiping on Tinder, well, that's for free. Increasingly, the online world becomes the new third place. And there's a lot to blame about the dating apps, but really the dating apps are a solution to the material problem of a shrinking social life, a lack of free time and a lack of disposable income. But the thing is about the apps is basically everyone fucking hates them. Most dating app users report feeling emotionally exhausted from them. And that's because when romance becomes algorithmic and placed on a platform, that platform becomes a hyper-competitive marketplace. And in this new modern marketplace, there would of course be a new form of currency, sexual capital.
I knew I wasn't a bad-looking guy, but I hadn't been on a date in 1,042 days. I sought to find the blueprint for dating apps. I got so many matches that I started scheduling dates every single day and ended up going on 30 dates in 30 days.
Now look, online dating is very different to dating in real life. Real world feedback from, trying to talk to someone you like, it works out sometimes, it doesn't sometimes. That feedback is quite literally the thing that shapes one's personality and one's confidence. Perhaps you're an average looking guy and you go to a house party and you're a bit nervous, you're a bit awkward, and then you have a couple of beers, you relax, you crack a fucking banger of a joke, you make some cute girl laugh, and you score a little kiss on the cheek. You might have been a nervous wreck when you entered that house party, but now you're walking home like fucking Billy Big Bollocks. But when that real life experience disappears, but you still live in a society that magazines, the films, the television endlessly glorify celebrity men and which beautiful woman they're with, in a culture that is deeply obsessed with your status, with wealth, with power, young men continuously get fed a message that unless you are attracted to beautiful women, then you're a loser, a virgin. And what's more, on top of that, and arguably more important to young men, is that if you are a loser, other men won't consider you a real man. So yeah, think about it, right? What if you are one of these young, awkward, nerdy boys, which is kind of most boys, and maybe you haven't found yourself yet, or you might not have found people that are similar to you? Well, these young lads increasingly start finding solace in online communities that create entire ideologies and theories around why a girl hasn't spoken to you yet.
They're mostly young men, usually virgins, who blame women and attractive guys for why they aren't in a relationship or having sex.
And if your only experience of talking to women is on Tinder, where your entire personality is compressed into a few images, measured by an algorithm, and ranked amongst millions of other men, in that environment, a new kind of pseudo-scientific religious cult built around facial structures, height, jawlines, and evolutionary biology is formed. And the umbrella term for this world is, of course, the manosphere.
Lately, I've been hitting the old doom swipies over here, and my mangorithm has introduced me to all sorts of new alpha friends, a wide world of podcasters and social media influencers and roided out man cubes that comprise the media landscape that has been dubbed the manosphere.
The manosphere is a broad term that covers different philosophies, some of them much more extreme than others. But there is an increasingly popular theory in the manosphere, and that is this belief that women are naturally hypergamous, meaning that they are biologically hardwired to only want the top men. And they come up with rules.
He's in the pocket on this issue. This is an issue that I talk about all the time as well. partially because just like Jimmy, I have extensive experience with this, you know, being a young man back in the day, now a long time ago, now at least 2 fucking decades ago, you know, almost. But, yeah, basically 3,000 years ago by internet standards. But yeah, that's, he's dialed in. This is a great video.
Right, they call it the 80-20 rule.
Dog, you were a douche fat, bro. You're not one of us. / sarcasm. I mean, that was when I was in my early 20s, too. Like, I'm talking even before that, even younger.
The idea that 80% of women only want the top 20% of men.
Also, look, I can still be one. Are you ready? What's up? What's up? Here, let me take these off, too. I have to squint like this because I can't see. Now you're Nick Merckx? Yeah.
In looks, status, and money. And they believe that women are biologically incapable of loving average-looking men.
As a high-value woman, before you say to that man you can have a day off and you're allowed to be sad today, you will only even acknowledge he exists if he's ignored how he feels 99% of the time before that. Because if he was sad most of the time before that, he never would have got to a place where he could attract a woman like you.
So where the fuck did they get this idea from, right? Well, there was some data that came from dating apps where it showed roughly 80% of women selected only 20% of the men. And this is one of those things where if you read that, it might sound scientific until you actually look at it. On apps like Tinder, right, men massively outnumber women. According to a 2025 summary of app usage data, globally, around about 75% of Tinder users identify as being men, whilst 25% identify as female. And you know, if you were to like maybe ask a woman, why don't you use Tinder as much as men do? Well, they might tell you that there's some very creepy men on those platforms.
Terry, 73. I'm old, ugly, and horny, and I love eating smooth young. My favorite is 69, although I also love Cowgirl because I get to maul those gorgeous melons. Also, I love Doggy.
So, most women go on Tinder and very quickly get overwhelmed. Most leave. And it might surprise you, right? You know, because in this environment, women have the pick of the litter, and they might swipe and pick the best-looking men more. But shockingly, this doesn't result in better quality relationships that they report being more satisfied with. Quite the opposite. According to data, relationships that are formed online tend to report less satisfaction than those relationships that are made in real life. It's almost as if women value things more than just good looks. But of course, that would require talking to a real-life woman. And in the world of the manosphere, that's a big no-no.
Females who have been emotionally manipulated try and manipulate the men won't listen. That'll make the female have more respect for the man. The frame will change. The female's mind will start to naturally align with the worldview of the male.
And like, man, I cannot explain how untrue hypergamy is in women. There is endless data showing that 81% of men and 86% of women will marry by the age of 40. If it's 80-20, the maths ain't working. And increasingly, women are actually dating down. More women are dating men with lower levels of education than them. As well, increasingly, men and women are earning similar-ish wages. But you know, data aside, that hasn't stopped a whole world of looks max creators, from people like Face IQ, Wheat Waffles, Austin Wayne, Clavicular, amassing big audiences in which a lot of their content focuses around hyper-analyzing men's faces, showing how much attention they get as a good-looking white tall guy in an Asian country, and then selling height growth pills in the description. Clavicular talking about taking testosterone since the age of 14, as well as taking meth to suppress his diet.
What drugs do you take in a day? I'm taking testosterone every single day, take 7.5 milligrams of Accutane a day. I use crystal pathology. I'm not a huge longevity guy.
Now, look.
That hat backwards with Loki sending me, can I get a whiff, sir? Wait, Do people get turned on by the backwards hat? I thought I looked like a clown. Should I be backwards hatting it more often? Like, some of you just want. I'm 34, man. It's crazy. Where's the dog? She's dead. This is turning into the same thing that happens when I eat, when people come in and go, oh, every time I tune in, you're eating. It's like, yeah, dude, because you tune in every day at the same time. Motherfuckers tune in when Kaya's on a walk and go, where the fuck is the dog, bro? She's dead. E trying to make Kaya gay too. Good luck to Ethan on his endeavors. This is surely going to make people love him and love Israel and turn around and go, oh my God, we were so wrong about you. You were actually the correct way. You were actually defending, Palestinians' rights the only appropriate way that you could, the only appropriate way that anyone should. Everyone else should go to prison. That's what's going to happen.
Maxing, to some degree or another has kind of always been around. However, it has been massively boosted lately, and there is a reason why. The red pill, right?
When a nerd comes to me and goes, I'm a total nerd, I want to learn games. Like, bro, you need to learn more than games. You look like a bitch. My girlfriend will beat the fuck out of you.
The red pill shit really popped off around 2021, 2022 with the rise of Andrew Tate, and you had their sort of lackeys, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, and their whole, kind of general sales pitch was that you need to be an alpha man. An alpha man is someone who wears tight-fitted, muscular t-shirts, who poses in pictures looking tough, buying fast cars to impress other men online, whilst treating women like shit and talking down on them like they're children. Now these lot, they were massive for a period of time, but they have heavily fallen off lately. And the whole thing didn't just disappear, God. Instead they got replaced by people like Clavicula.
I use crystal.
So yeah, the red pill's messaging was kind of things like eat healthy, go to the gym, become rich, and obviously treat women like inferiors. And actually, this form itself was also an evolution of the very original pickup artists. The really early lot used to teach guys that it was all about psychological tricks and clever lines that you have to say to trick women into thinking that you were not a loser. So yeah, looks maxing is the current evolution of the previous Andrew Tate red pill ideology. And it makes sense, right? Because presumably, young, nerdy, awkward guys.
Our daily Bowden socialist update. Oh shit, why are there Hassan Piker quotes on here? Hassan Piker, January 7th. I like that you guys rep Zohran Mamdani when the school very clearly does not. By the way, have you guys noticed that? Even though he's the fucking mayor now, I feel like at least now they can honestly rep him, right? Also, what is this website design, dude? Goddamn, this shit is stuck in a time when most of you motherfuckers were not even alive. Yeah, 1995 Socialist Club looking ass website, dude. HTML4, it's under construction. That's crazy. This is crazy. This shit looks like GeoCities. CSS is bourgeoisie decadence. Ha 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 ha. Oh, this is like an old school schizophrenic trot unk would put this together. Okay, like on its own. Hassan Piker, January 8th, 2026. Look at how ass this website was yesterday. It's still ass. Oh my God, okay, listen. I love you guys, okay? Respect to the Bowden socialists. Yeah, this website is serving Y2K realness the old-fashioned way, still. Respect.
After going to the gym a few times, probably realised that they weren't going to get a Bugatti anytime soon, and just wearing sunglasses indoors and doing this thing with your hands, it's probably not going to score like a Minecraft kid some super...
You have the same PSL score as Tom Welling, Superman actor and new Looks Max icon.
It's not like I ever had a chance with her. What would make you say that? Because I'm always standing next to you.
She called me daddy, I don't even know her mama. There is 0% chance my PSO score is almost this high. This is crazy. He's so much hotter than me. That's not even a question. I linked you a Looks Max quiz. You didn't want to do it? Yeah, I don't want to like take photos of my face and shit. Aren't you taller? Probably, but that doesn't mean shit. Don't worry, it's all fake. I mean, I don't worry about this stuff at all.
So Looks Maxim,
you want to know why I don't worry about this stuff at all? Because I'm 34 years old and I already have confidence, which can only come from within. If you don't have confidence, then you lean into this kind of stuff. You lean into like the way people perceive you. And that's kind of what I always try to explain to people, like self-reliance and confidence is the key, okay? And you can achieve it by improving yourself. You can achieve it by improving the way you look, grooming yourself better, figuring out what kind of haircut works, figuring out what kind of beard works in your face, like figuring out what kind of clothes work with your body. All this stuff will be helpful, but ultimately, if it just stays at external validation, you won't actually have any confidence. But the process in which you transform yourself into the 7 that I know you can be is the process where you will develop confidence, because once you start achieving the goals that you set for yourself, you start believing in yourself. Yes, you need the shower.
probably spawned somewhere in like the early 2010s. There was a website called PUAHate.com. Surprisingly, PUAHate, which stands for Pickup Artistry Hate, was not in fact a website created by feminists to critique the objectification of women, but instead it was created by men critiquing the effectiveness of pickup artistry. These lot, right, who were going on PUA Hate, they considered pickup artistry a scam. They didn't buy the whole advice that you could just be more confident and that will get you women. They started to believe that attractiveness was biologically hardwired into you.
And I think that every woman who encounters me on the street is inherently disgusted by me. I'm physically unattractive, I'm visibly autistic, and I have no experience speaking to females. There is most likely not a single female on the planet that would be willing to date me.
Yeah, it was somewhere around the 2010s where we start to see the rise of incels, involuntary celibates. Guys who believed that they were so biologically unattractive that they were destined to be celibate for their entire life. This is often referred to as the black pill. The black pill accepted that there was no such thing as self-improvement. You are born as you are and nothing can be done to improve your dating outcomes. But looks maxers, right? They were like a slight deviation of that style of thinking. Because whilst they believed the general premise of the black pill, that looks matter more than anything else, and that women are hypergamous pieces of shit, they, however, believed you could make improvements, but not to your personality, friend. No, to your face.
By looking good, they're going to assume that you get paid better, you're cooler, you're funnier. I was teased for certain things like my skin, eye bags. Was I able to improve these things? Yes. Did it help my life? Yes. But there are other things that you can do that are quite effective. That you can do today, tomorrow, this week to get remedial.
Well, oh yeah, I saw this. It's so funny that no one can apparently write a hit piece on Hassan the Hun without also calling him handsome along the way. Jewish Insider asked podcasts to comment on the comments of another podcaster and wrote an article about them not commenting. From Jewish Insider, Johnson also pointed to an issue with what he termed the Democratic staffer class, where the median Democratic staffer is so progressive they have no punching left rule, especially when someone like Hassan is attractive and has a large audience. Spiker's ideology remains largely unchecked by progressive lawmakers and activists. Other critics warned that the left's acquiescence to his troubling views already hurt its ability to meaningfully counter growing hostility to Jews in Israel from the far right. Hassan Piker is a Tucker Carlson of the progressive left, just dumber and better looking. Jamie Kirchick, an author and commentator who frequently writes about Israel and Jewish issues, told Jewish Insider. As long as figures like Kana, Sanders, Ocasio-Cortez, and Markey pal around with him, they forfeit any credibility attacking the new right's vile anti-Semitism. Sure. Rude, let me out. I mean, I don't give a fuck what any Israel dick rider says about my level of intellect. And for the record, I would rather be the dumbest person on the fucking planet than be someone who defends Israel, okay? I'd rather be dumb with a heart than present an intelligent person on camera and lack consciousness. These motherfuckers done unfang anti-Semitism by themselves, yeah. Makes you look like Dennis the Menace? Are they somehow dissuading them from attacking the new right anti-Semitism? No. Acquiescence. Acquiescence. I said it right. No? That's a trap. You can't be dumber than them. I'm not, but it doesn't matter. I love, like I said, I love when my enemies hate me, okay? You are my enemy. If you are pro-Israel, you are my fucking op. You are my enemy. You are nothing to me. So you can say whatever the fuck you want. Anyway. What? You have to check out this TikTok from one of those guys real quick?
It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know, you like my little sister. Nobody wants to see it, but...
If advocating for people to not vilify an entire country, to focus on the leader, to focus on the people that carry out human rights violations. Duterte killed 30,000 people. He's in the International Criminal Court. No one says fuck the Philippines. No one's going to blame the Philippines as a country for what he did. I think it should be the same logic. Most people are not engaged in the political system. They just are born somewhere and they live somewhere. There's going to be people born there 20 years later. I'm not saying, hooray, don't care. I don't like... It's not somehow support in the sense of like being pro-Israel, but it's not like anti-Israel the country. I wonder if you could ever have like a real conversation, what they would respond to with that. Like, is that going to be considered being pro-fucking Israel? Are you kidding me? How could you ever misinterpret anything I've ever said or done or put out in the world as being like pro-genocide? And that's the like, stop killing people. And then it's a fucking construction real estate scam and you fucking murdered people so that you could build shit. But no, it's not like pro... Are you pro-America? I'm not like anti-America. What? Yeah, it's like there's a basket of good shit and a basket of bad shit. I hate the bad shit. I don't know. What are you trying to do? I don't see why you'd have to separate socialism and anarchy blended together into some new idea of what America would even be. Yeah, something that doesn't do cults. Cults and genocide seem to be the problem with everything you've ever tried to do historically. But no, I'm not anti an entire fucking country, everyone that lives in it, and everyone that will ever live in it. You want to create like a borderless universe where no one, then someone's going to say, well, that's homogeny. They lose a sense of their identity if you take away the name of their country and their borders and just called it Earth. I mean, you are citizens of Earth. Ultimately, you shouldn't have to be scared that you'd go anywhere on the planet and get murdered. Yeah, I get. Well, I don't. No one wants you to show up, take their house and all their stuff, and then act like there's not enough space. That's why you'd want like rights to where you live, and you call it your home. And somebody that just showed up isn't the same somehow as you being there your whole life or half your life. Yeah, what are the borders of your home if it's America versus like I was supposed to stay in a certain state or something? You know, there's a million arguments. And at the end of the day, it's like someone with the time and the money and the resources, more than I ever had, gets to stomp on my face and make me homeless. Even if they're full of shit about whatever they're pretending to be about. Like, yeah, a dog in somebody else's house your whole life. That's not really world citizen. That's like fucked. Yeah, stop killing people. Making you so fucking scared that you're gonna get killed, you become unresponsive. It's like you don't exist anyway because they terrified you so much. And then play some sick game about who's scared of what. No, someone wants to play war games, and they want to play war games based on lines they've drawn for decades before I was born, and they have a certain way they talk about it, and they thought you'd be on a team, and they wanted you to be like part of some shit they do to people like a machine they run them through and use the bits at the end to like control society. Yeah, no thanks. Whatever the fuck that is. So yeah, the idea that you would at the end of the day you're nothing to somebody because you're not going to just be like, wipe that one country off the map or like that seems really twisted. Yeah. I mean, he's not advocating to wipe Israel off the map, is he? You don't really hear him say he wants a two-state solution. What is his solution to the let's see if you said it already and somebody put it on for Israel Palestine. Left-wing political commentator. He says he wants a one-state solution. So he is like they would just stop having an Israel. I thought the people of the area wanted a two-state solution. Would they just call it something else like Israelstein? Palesreal. No, it sounds like they would just call it Palestine and like Maybe. I mean, do I feel like, well, what if they just deleted America and then called it Canada, like, or Mexico? Canada, Mexico. To Mexico. Yeah, I'm also angry at feeling like someone really wants to know what I think about it just to blast me in the face because I never even learned this shit in school and I'm learning as I go. But they'd love for you to speak too soon and then make a remark that like you don't even know what the fuck is going on. I just know that genocide is wrong no matter what the fuck is happening. That's for sure. I can definitely stand by that no matter what scenario you put me through.
But heidism might actually be worse than racism.
What?
Oh, hell no. Yeah, bro, who can forget? Who can forget when people under 5'6", men under 5'6" were not allowed to drink from the same water fountains as men over 5'6"? God damn. God damn, bro, that is crazy. This has 273,000 likes, bro. Holy fuck. Wait, that's why they have 2 drinking fountains. That's why they have the shorter drinking fountain. Oh my god, I didn't realize. Heightism. Roller coaster rides and 2 separate heights for 2 separate drinking fountains. That's what it was. It's height segregation. Of course, I'm a tall, so I don't even fucking know. Common Syrian L. This guy, I want to like this guy, but he's just so fucking insane.
This is socially condemned. You say something racist, you lose your job, your reputation, your platform, etc.
Yeah, except no. You say something racist, you fundraise $1.5 million. Okay? So, I wish this was still the meta. It's no longer the meta. You say something racist, they give you your job back as a government prosecutor. Okay? One of the immigration prosecutors the government has literally posted Adolf Hitler in a positive manner, and they quietly brought his job back. They quietly were like, yeah, we'll investigate this. And then now he's a government prosecutor again. One of the largest content creators on this platform just spews bile on a daily basis and has a legion of toxic-ass fans.
Society punishes you, but mock someone for their height, that's not condemned. It's actually normal. It's
Yeah. I wonder why. Like, here, I'll flip the script, okay? This guy would probably never make this argument, even though you can make the exact same argument about fat shaming. Okay, can you imagine if someone were to make a video about fat shaming being just as bad as racism, or if not worse than racism? What do you think this guy would say? Okay? What do you think? You lack the credibility to talk on this issue, Tolly. Fatism is worse than racism. If you made a video about fat shaming, this dude would fucking lose his mind. And no, I know that people can lose weight, but they can't add inches to their fucking height. I know. The point is not whether or not there is a change, whether or not this is a factor that is in your control. The point is, making fun of someone being fat or making fun of someone being short is just making you a bully, but it doesn't have any sort of attachment to systemic forms of oppression. Okay? It does not. Because your height or your weight can change the way people perceive you, but it doesn't actually genuinely cause real systemic discrimination in the way that racism did and still does to this day. Ain't no fucking cop is pulling you over and being like, oh, you're fat, you're going to prison, okay? Oh, you're short? Jail for you, shorty. Like, there are so many. You didn't get redlined on the basis of being fat or on the basis of being short, okay? Fuck! Come on, guys. Wake the fuck up. doctors, doctors are like, hey, sorry, we can't. I don't want to. I don't want to treat you because you're too short. Yes, fat phobia has its own systemic oppression, though. I know. Okay. Yes, there are different points of discrimination on the basis of being short and on the basis of being fat, and there's validity to these arguments. But comparing it to racism is fucking insane. Hello. Ain't nobody was enslaved for being short for 400 fucking years, and if their kids were also short, because, you know, that carries on genetically, then they were slaves too? Really? That's the argument that we're making here?
But now that I feel better,
fuck! Yeah, I'm enslaving the fatties is not a principle that ever existed. Bro hasn't heard of Oompa Loompas. Oh, you're a tall? Your opinion is invalid, to be honest? Okay. Yeah, they should ask the question to a fat black person. I'm like, what do you think is a worse form of discrimination in society in modern day and age, being fat or being black?
but it's
exactly. It's what is was it Baldwin? Who? There's like a famous quote about this. You know, you can be queer presenting, and you can be black. There is definitely levels to this in terms of discrimination, systemic discrimination. Or a short black person, ask them that too. A mix of both, not gonna lie. Come on, man. Yeah, the American government. Who could forget when the American government did the move bombing on a fat family for being short and fat, when they dropped C4 out of a fucking helicopter. And then the fucking police chief said, nah, keep the block burning. And then they took the bones of the short and fat people that they killed, and they distributed amongst different college campuses until like literally fucking 5 years ago, when they returned the bones of the short and the fat people. Who can forget that? Like even in terms of you know, skin color, who could forget that we have an entire brigade called ICE that is basically stopping people on the basis of being short and also on the basis of being fat? Do you understand how fucking stupid this argument is? I'm really stressing it to the best of my ability. I'm trying to make people really understand how stupid this is. Okay? Same argument applies when you shouted for 2 hours about Nazi people in modern time, dear. Wait, what? I don't know, Hassan, I'm 6'3", 240 pounds, and black, and I remember working security a couple years back at high school in LA. There was this kid that was 6'7", and I would have to respect his height when he was around. There are rules. Okay. Yeah, they're stopping Mexicans for being short, dude. That's what they were doing this whole time. Yeah. Sorry, we have to deport you because you're fat. Or sorry, we have to deport you because you're short. No more shorties. We need tallies only. What the fuck?
It's a preference.
Liar.
How am I a liar?
5 is a lie.
You gotta round up.
Round it up heavy.
No, I didn't.
I'm 6'4". Exactly.
And the irony is, height is 95% genetic. You can't train it, manifest it, or grind for it. No amount of effort is going to change your bone length. Only about 50% of men are 6 feet or taller, yet somehow that becomes the baseline nowadays. It's so bad that even talking about someone's weight is considered more offensive than mentioning their height, especially when it comes to women, right? And that's something that you can control. I just find it hilarious that this double, actually triple standard still exists till this day.
Heightism might be actually worse than racism. Our brains are shrinking. Yeah, I'm gonna have Joe on the broadcast soon too. We've been working on doing a collabo. You both make good arguments? Man, shut the fuck up. No, we don't both make good arguments. I am standing directly in opposition to this argument. There is no world where both of us are making good arguments. You basically just said, hey, I see you, I hear you, you're being very reasonable, but also, I'm fucking 5'6". That's all you said to me with that statement, okay?
PGE Electric. I am lucky to still have a credit to my account that's slowly chipping away thanks to the HRSN program. Still millionaires. I can
Listen,
only
guys.
get my food via
Guys.
Walmart delivery because they accept
I'm not one of these people that's gonna be a silly Billy and tell you, like, oh, it doesn't matter at all. Women don't look at that stuff at all. Of course they do. It's a fucking hurdle. But it's one that you can climb, okay? It just gives you a worse starting position overall. And there are still plenty of people who don't give a shit about it regardless, okay? But ultimately, it's absolutely something that does not lock you in to lock you into a different category unless you make it the number one factor in your fucking personality, okay? It's that simple, yes. For all the shorties, that's why I always say, you can be a manlet or you can be a short king. But it's entirely up to you to choose which path you might take. That's it.
Ages of 10 to 18 at MHS. Public schools should have provided the same things. Education should be free at any age, or else we are doomed to never update for the sake of some expendable
Where's the
system
equity
that
it's on? Oh my god. Motherfuckers being like, yo, motherfuckers making the argument, yo, you said you claim to be a socialist and here you are, hoarding all the hype for yourself. The dating pool is smaller for sure? No. You wanna know why that doesn't even matter? Because we're talking about such a ginormous dating pool that, like, even if you shave a little bit off the top, it doesn't, you haven't even gotten anywhere close to penetrating this ginormous sea of possible suitors.
With white-gloved bigotry. Millionaires. Selfish, theocratic, death cult fuckers are not better than anyone, and just getting points for your team is as
I usually agree with you, Assam, but fucking long girls have no right in these discussions. I really don't know why you high tops like to dig into your vertically limited lives. Dig into our vertically limited lives. The only thing beanpoles like you are good for is opening covers and giving uppies to us on the ground down here fighting the real fight. I heard Mal was 5'5". No, Mal was tall as fuck. He's like my height. Mal was actually like 6'3" or 6'4" or some shit. I mean, he might have even been taller. Deng Xiaoping, on the other hand, nah, he was a shorty, okay? That's the Hunanese you're talking about, okay? A Hunan man. A real fighter. Alright, anyway. We must put the shorties to work in the chocolate factory. You fail to realize that all the world leaders are tall and oppress the short? Brother, Vladimir Putin is like 5'3", okay? What's up? I actually don't know how tall, I don't know how tall Xi Jinping is. Is he tall?
Struggling to survive every single fucking day. Scared I will die earlier than I should have due to lifelong poverty.
Now it's 5'11", Lamau? Okay, then his
bullshit and it deserves to be haunted. Universal human
then
rights
his statue
77 years ago. Anyone could just
gave him a bunch of inches.
No matter what government flag, philosophy, or current social
Height difference of different dictators. These measurements are not completely accurate. Dictators, and then it's fucking Fidel Castro, Mao Zedong, Xi Jinping, Raul Castro, Kim Il-sung. Like, the first... Dude, come on, dude. Come on! Oh, when I think of dictators, I think Fidel Castro. What the fuck are you saying?
Everyone for centuries imagining themselves as good guys of history. Millionaires.
Adolf Hitler, 5'7". Tito? They put Tito in there? I'm noticing a pattern here where there's very few right-wing dictators on this list. Lenin was 5'4". That's my fucking goat of all goats. Look at that. It's by height, you idiot. Yeah, really? So Pinochet was 5'2", and that's why he didn't make the cut? Is that the argument you're making? Or is this a fucking idiotic subreddit that thinks like every fucking leftist leader was a dictator and perhaps way worse than anyone on the right ever could have been? Motherfucker said Lenin was a dictator, bro. What are we doing here? Are you fucking serious? He said Fidel Castro's a dictator, Lenin's a dictator. Mao Zedong, once again, you know, compelling figure overall. What was it? What's the fucking quote? If Mao Zedong had passed away in like 1964, or not 1964, what was the fucking quote? But it's like, if he had passed away right before the Cultural Revolution, he would have been known as an incredible legend. If he passed away 1 year into the Cultural Revolution, he would have still been seen as like a profoundly positive force. But he unfortunately passed away after. Something like that. Had Mao died in 1956, his achievements would have been immortal. Had he died in 1966, he would have still been a great man but flawed. But he died in 1976. Alas, what can one say? We need magic. Imagine if Lenin lived just another 10 years. Yeah. Why does this guy keep saying gay?
I really don't understand how he can be so progressive and so... I mean, are you advocating that there is a time and a place when you wholesale murder a bunch of people, dude? I guess I just want you to say it. By the way, there's something in the air so strong it can taste it. It's fucking disgusting. It's like that pesticide again. Oh, and then someone's gonna drive away right when I mention it. Like, oh my god, whatever the fuck they're doing, they're murdering me in my own home. Whoever the fuck keeps coming here and fucking with me. Or is in the building all the time and fucking with me. I don't know why they find a convenient time and place for themselves to keep doing some fucked up shit to me. The fucking monsters. What? Because they want you to think that there's a good time and like they should fucking die is what they want you to say? I don't even know who the fuck they are. I just know they're killing me. Stop and leave me the fuck alone. But yeah, when it comes to fucking Lenin and Mao and whoever the fuck else, like, why would you endorse... Like, here are ideas that people might want. Here's a bunch of shit that no one wants to happen. And now it's like just another fucking thing that I have to bring up every fucking time he says it. Well, it's funny how it seems like certain things get ripped out of your mouth and then they're talking about it too, but not the shit that like actually fucking mattered. Yeah, why don't you say this? The best ideas and the worst atrocities. Accomplishments. And then, you know, like I said, usually everything goes wrong because there's a cult and there's genocide. Some kind of fascist militarism. Doesn't matter how good your fucking ideas were. In spirit, it's destroyed because of fascism, militarism, committing genocide. Yeah, and I am kind of annoyed by it because, first of all, my fucking room is filled with some kind of chemical thing. I don't know what the fuck it is. And then second of all, I want him to be like a good person. Like if I died, he's going to keep talking about important shit. And people actually listen to him. It just frustrates me that like, it's more of like a joke about doing your own fucking research or something. Fuck genocide means anybody, anywhere, anytime. I feel like he thinks that too, but he doesn't like press it. He goes for a joke instead.
He fart fucking. Take a day off. Yeah, bro, I was talking about how cool is it that Canadians can go to Canada, or can go to China without a visa. My coworker immediately said, yeah, well, she's a dictator, also Tiananmen Square. Liberals are so turbo fucked in the head everywhere. Yeah, Xi Jinping, the man who did Tiananmen Square. Bro, it's like saying you want to go to America. George Washington owned slaves. Sure, the timeline is different, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Fuck cults.
I can't believe you'd go to America. The move bombing happened around the same time that the Tiananmen Square happened. Hello? Ay, ay, ay.
7th of September.
CBP commander getting mobbed?
Hey fam, I was in Minneapolis and look, we just stumbled upon Greg Bovino at a fucking Speedway for a pre-Hague photo shoot. So, good for him, I guess. For those following along at home, I have nothing against short men, but I do just have to report back there is about a 4-inch height difference. Do you want to get closer so they can see?
Oh no, a little higher than
2020. Still not the same. So Greg, you're standing right there in front of me, but to everyone following along at home, I hope you fucking eat shit. I hope this keeps you up at night for the rest of your life, and no one fucking wants you here. Oh, fantastic language. There's children in here in your fucking vehicle, asshole. Joke.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is... People are saying this might be the perfect video. She got him on his tippy toes, bro. She got him on his tippy toes. Talked mad shit directly to his face. Cooked his ass. Oh my lord. Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh my god, he heard her talking big shit and walked over.
Do you want to get closer so they...
You think he tries to find the tiniest agents he can to surround himself so that he doesn't look ridiculous in comparison, you know what I mean? He's like, you can be 5'7" max.
Inch height difference? Do you want to get closer so they can see?
I like that she's not even remotely fucking intimidated, dude. He's like slowly posturing over there, like walking up to be like, yeah, I see you. And then jumps up and down. Minnesota girls are built different, dude. I see that, dude. My favorite Gregory Bovino fact is that he seems to travel everywhere with a Praetorian Guard handpicked to be even shorter than he is. Yeah. Yeah. You see this? Oh my god. She's from Chicago and a lawyer? Well, she's my queen now. Respect. Oh my god, he's got a manlet brigade, bro. What the fuck? And he's got lifts on, too. He really does. I mean, he is giving fucking one battle after another. Sean Penn. Careful, you're being worse than racist. Oh my god, yeah, actually. By the standards set forth by that one looks-maxing TikToker, I'm technically being insanely inappropriate here because, like, I'm making fun of an omega racist for being short. Therefore, I'm actually discriminating against ICE agents in ways that they could never discriminate against others, right?
Good results. Now, yeah, looks maxing, it gets pretty extreme. And while some lads might take it with a pinch of salt, just, you know, get a good skincare routine and go to the gym and get a haircut, others might find themselves going deeper into this online world, where they surround themselves with fellow looks max.
Yeah, she's dope. I just followed her back. That's fire.
Who become increasingly obsessive, increasingly nihilistic, and increasingly harsh and abusive to each other. And I do really want to be clear here. Not every single layer of men's self-help is the extreme toxic form. The simple advice of go to the gym, be healthy, dress well, join social groups of people with similar interests, get a hobby, develop your personality, and importantly, speak to women. No! God! No! Pretty good advice. But that's the thing, there's this old expression which is, once you get the message, hang up the phone. Because the problem, right, with that very simple message is, you know, it's all nice and all, that's great, yeah, do all the things, but my name's Giga Chad Jimmy 69 and I want to sell you some shit. And so we see this really interesting thing, right, that is referred to, like in general business, as market incentive escalation and differentiation pressure. So what you see, right, is as those original self-help guys that tell you to go to the gym and, you know, get a hobby, as that market of, you know, creators gets saturated, over time.
I don't mind you talking mad shit on that dude, but stop going after height, dude. I'm 5'2.5". Not all short dudes are pieces of shit. Wait, what? I never said that, dude. That's why I said there's short kings and there's manlets. And it's entirely up here and entirely in here that makes that difference. That's what matters, okay? You have the option to be a short king, or you have the option to live your life as a manlet. And for a lot of people, it does unironically stem from how much they let this stuff bother them, how much they let this stuff be a major hurdle for them that they can't clear. And no, I'm not making a pun about height, okay? I'm not. I know everybody always says, this is, you know, you're doing a height pun. I'm not. And there is a market pressure to become more extreme in order to differentiate yourselves from your competitors. Also, here's one thing you have on me all day, every day. Weightlifting. If you are under 6 foot, you can walk into a gym, sneeze on a bench press, and you'll have pecs. Okay? I can spend my whole life lifting like a motherfucker with my tall ass. And unless I get medical enhancements, it is going to be very difficult for me to fill this frame. Okay? And I have been. I'm saying this as someone who has been lifting for years and years and years and years and years. You get a major stat boost. Being under 6 foot at the gym is like steroids. It's like having steroids. I swear to fucking God. Old ass senior talking. I mean, this is a common gym trope. Everybody knows if being 5'6" is the best you can be in the gym. It's the best height for gym. Straight up.
Or that this is ever the end of it.
Straight up.
2020. 2020.
And to sell new products. So if in the early days the obvious products was to make, I don't know, video courses and maybe even teach people, go coaching people to talk to women, well, the potential market for that is small and eventually will become saturated. But if you think about it, the customer base for maybe height growth pills, jaw strengthening machines, where you can live stream this on TikTok and have a shop running, that market is way, way bigger. And
bro, you know what I get on TikTok too that's crazy? Drones that they're selling to Ukrainians. Like, Chinese e-commerce has exploded on TikTok. I mean, it probably always did, but like I see hella fucking anti-drone tech that they're just selling. And also on top of that, they're out here selling like, you know, grenade dropping mechanisms and stuff that you can attach to your drone.
They're saturated. And eventually you find yourself in Poland getting leg lengthening surgery.
New at 6, people all over the world are enamored by a Riverdale man. He just returned from Turkey.
This is one of the craziest things, by the way, the leg strengthening. It's like, there are very, very few people that get this fucking surgery and actually can, like, continue walking without a crutch for the rest of their lives. It is one of the dumbest things you can do.
Where he had surgery to grow from 5'5" to 6 feet tall.
Wow. I wanted to become the best version of myself mentally, physically, and spiritually. And for me, that included height.
So in order to bamboozle young men into doing insanely stupid shit to make themselves better looking, these looks maxers have to create a comprehensive sales pitch, complete with pseudoscience and jargon, as they created something.
This is a myth. It's not about height. It's about testosterone inhibiting growth. A lot of dudes over 6 foot have lower T levels than short men on average. This isn't a meme. There's even treatments where taller men will take large doses of testosterone to keep them from growing. Wait, what? Why would you want to be fucking not taller? I'm so confused.
To anyone who'd give a minute to care. All these books can make me question whether really have anything.
High testosterone stunts your height growth? As a short woman, I can't even tell if guys are short or tall because they're all taller than me. Yeah, there's also that. You mean like gigantism or something? Bro, your heightism is insane. Okay, shut up. Only tall people are obsessed with height IRL. I have actually had the exact opposite experience where I don't recognize how tall I am until we're talking about height and then everyone yells at me. Or even, like, I don't know how tall I am because I'm just taller than everybody else usually. So whenever the only time I ever fucking realize what I look like is when I get photographed. When I get photographed around others, and then I look back at the photo, I'm like, that's gross. I look like that? That's disgusting. That's how I feel, at least. I know people won't believe me. Nice sob story, taller. I know. I know.
The PSL scale. PSL stands for PUA hate, slut hate, and lookism, which is like racism for looks. The PSL ranks men from...
Yes, I've had body consciousness issues in the past due to not just height, but due to being fat for the most part, but height as well. I mean, look. The answer to this is simple. Would I rather be shorter or the same height? And my answer is I would rather be my height. Like, I'm happy with my height. Would I be shorter or taller? I think ultimately I'm still happy with my height. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm taller or not. But ultimately, I mean, that in and of itself proves the argument, right? Like, at least from my perspective, which is that I am fortunate. Like, I get it. I'm fortunate. I understand that. Stop virtue signaling, shaking my head. If I was virtue signaling, I would say I would rather be shorter than taller. My point is... There are, I guess, issues that you don't really consider when you're taller, like higher likelihood of getting cancer, shorter lifespans in general, okay? Not being able to fit into places, a society that's not designed for your height. But none of that matters. It's not bad enough to want to be shorter.
Sunday morning, February 2022, I'm awake again.
You're also perceived differently. Bro, you're reading off Google right now? What? Google? Problems with being tall. Yeah, I got Google. I needed Google to fucking highlight issues about being tall and not the 34 years that I've lived on this planet.
The juxtaposition of these three things. Should you just never take a moment to talk about just something that seems kind of like a random offshoot? Is there a heavier pressure on him being a leader than if I was doing it? Or somebody else that doesn't have like a following? Everything is just so goddamn serious. And he talks about serious shit the whole time, but then he spent like an hour now talking about something, and it increasingly feels like it just does not fucking matter. Talk about something else. Talk about something else. Oh my god. And then you had this lady on the side on TikTok talking about like all these different incidents. And you got the music in the middle. You should play video games. You should talk about what would be sort of inane, less important things. You should be a human being. But it does feel like it makes your brain explode a bit. Like you're living in a state of terror, and at least for the moment, it's just not being held in the same energy or something. And like, it's super disconcerting. It's not like I'm not picking on him. I'm the one that's juxtaposing the different elements. Yeah, maybe shutting him off and just listening to her. While he's talking about how tall he is. Yeah, without making more of a metaphor about it or anything. It's not like he has some like really big point. Feels like he's repeating himself. Maybe he's tired. He's been talking for like 6 hours. It's fine. He's not like a bad person all of a sudden because he's talking about this, but it does bring this like idea, like if you're going to be anything, you need to stay focused on what you're trying to talk about. Because it starts to like, your brain needs a break too. You need dopamine to function. Like, being in a constant sense of terror is not helping either. But it does feel really weird.
Performative being doesn't exist. No, I'm not saying it.
Why the sounds coming through my body, why they do and they do and when they
Something's not working on my phone to make it play in the app. It should be playing through my speaker. Now it's going to take me a minute to get back to it. I don't know if it'll work.
Up. Welcome back to News You're Just Not Seeing Enough of in the United States. Today is January 14th, 2026. And we are not angry enough. Okay, I'm going to try and breathe through this because what I'm about to say, it's not commentary, it's not opinion, it's not alarmism. It is a fucking warning. There are moments in history where everything changes quietly. Not with tanks and sirens, but with paperwork. And this is one of those moments. Our constitutional republic in the United States is in an open fucking freefall. And people are like, la-di-da, la-di-dee. What we're witnessing right now is not disorder. It's not random violence. It's not isolated incidents. It's not things getting out of hand, as you guys like to say in my comments. It is by design. When a government labels dissent as terrorism, that's not a mistake. Architecture, it's a structure for power. It's how republics fall. We fall through definitions, through fucking memos, through legal language that gives violence a uniform and tells the public it's for their own safety. And you are waiting for the institutions to stop this. Because I see it in my comments. Where's Congress? Where are the courts? I need you to hear me clearly. They have already failed. On September 25th, 2025, the White House issued National Security Presidential Memorandum Number 7. It was titled Countering Domestic Terrorism and Organized Political Violence. And on its face, it claimed to protect public safety. But in reality, it redefined the threat. domestic terrorism was no longer limited to violence. It was expanded to include behavior that appears intended to influence government policy. And that matters because appears intended is not about evidence. It's about someone's interpretation. And interpretation gives power to whoever is holding the badge. So then comes NSPM 33, which normalized national security oversight in civilian life, academic life, and associational life. And then, on December 4th, 2025, the Justice Department, yeah, your good old Pam Bondi, issued an implementation memo. And that's where the theory became action. Federal prosecutors were instructed on how to operationalize NSPM 7. Organizing protests, funding mutual aid, documenting state violence, coordinating resistance, all of it now fell under the shadow of domestic terrorism. And that's not law enforcement. That's permission for abuse. So let me be very clear that everything that's happening on our streets right now is a consequence of that permission. ICE is arresting first and verifying later, and people are being taken off the streets without warrants. Families are left without information, and we lawyers can't even find our clients. Children are ending up in foster care systems because parents don't have legal documents in place to say who would legally be able to pick up their kids if, God forbid, ICE murders them. Or takes them away and sends them to a country they've never been to, or holds them in a cell and abuses them despite the fact that they are legally in this country. All right, I'm gonna take a deep breath. A 21-year-old was shot point blank the other day with a so-called non-lethal round and permanently blinded in Santa Ana, California. We have a video of a pregnant woman being dragged, handcuffed in the snow, face down on her belly in public while people screamed. We have images of teachers being ripped out of their cars as they go in to teach school, and students being ripped out at exit school grounds. We have principals coming out with bats trying to defend their students. And community members being thrown against cars and dragged through the streets. We have women being taken into porta potties while they're handcuffed, while male ICE agents follow them in. We have reports of incredible amounts of sexual abuse and taunting and horror, all been given permission by the law. We now have DHS reporting and reminding these ICE agents that they have absolute immunity for their actions in official duties. It's not accountability. It's not investigation. It's escalation. And the regime leader promised a day of reckoning and retribution for Minnesota. That matters. Because these officials have begun arguing that filming ICE agents is violence. Not assaulting them, not obstructing them, but merely filming them engage in these actions is violence, while they turn around and film their own snuff films, encourage more people who get off on abusing women and children and communities to join their fight. But let me remind you that filming, this new law saying that filming domestic terrorism directly contradicts the First Amendment. The right to record public officials in public spaces is settled law, and reclassifying it as terrorism does not make it legal. It makes the state lawless. And we have to stop pretending that this is unprecedented. In the United States, the federal government has hunted human beings for centuries. It just was in limited communities of black and brown people. Slave patrols were legal. The Fugitive Slave Acts were legal. Stop and frisk policies were legal. They were enforced by officers of the state. Legality, though, did not make them just. It made them efficient. Arrest first, verify later, remove people from public view, deny them due process, criminalize those who interfere, and punish those of us who bear witness. And that structure is now impacting everyone. Your whiteness no longer protects you. In Nazi Germany, the Gestapo did not primarily rely on its soldiers. It relied on the law, on citizen surveillance, and on criminalizing association. History does not repeat itself because people are stupid. It repeats itself because systems are fucking predictable. And yeah, some of y'all are fucking stupid. And we gotta talk about this hypocrisy, right? The regime, the US regime machinery is turning inward are the people. While the leader of this regime has gone to the international stage telling Iranian protesters to keep protesting, promising them that help is on the way, because peaceful protest in Iran is framed as heroic, while peaceful protest here at home is terrorism. It's not foreign policy. This is theater. And Iran is not the story. I want freedom for the Iranians. I think they should be free of their fucking oppressive regime. But so should we. And there is a lie being told right now that so many of you are still buying into, because I see it in my comments, that the courts will save us, that Congress will intervene, that the system will correct itself. But it hasn't, and it isn't. And waiting is a choice. But the Constitution does not place its final safeguard in institutions. It placed the final safeguard of this constitutional republic in its people. The Declaration of Independence is explicit. When a government becomes destructive of life, liberty, and happiness, the people have a right and a duty to act. Not through chaos, but through collective resistance. And I need to be absolutely clear. This is not a call to violence. Violence is what authoritarian regimes want, because it will justify their own brutality back against us. This is a call for non-cooperation. We have to hold the line by refusing to normalize this. We hold it by naming the lies as lies. We hold it through mass, lawful, civil disobedience. Let me remind you, economic boycotts are constitutional. Strikes are constitutional. Mutual aid is constitutional. Protecting your neighbors is constitutional. And refusing to assist in your own oppression is constitutional. Authoritarian regimes collapse when they cannot function. And they cannot function without labor, without legitimacy, and without compliance. This is why dissent is being labeled as terrorism. It's because it works. So please, for the love of God, please stop looking away. Stop waiting for permission. Stop telling yourself that this does not affect you because it's not in your neighborhood yet. It always reaches everyone eventually. This right now is the line. History will not ask whether we were fucking polite. It will ask whether we were awake. Please stay awake. And as always, stay safe. You need to wake the fuck up. Welcome back to News You're Just Not Seeing Enough of the Internet.
6 miles high in the sky, and our wings would get tired, and sometimes we might even pass out and fall through the clouds to our death.
I don't know if y'all have heard, but apparently ICE is putting people's phones in airplane mode so that they're...
Just so we're clear, you were never cast down for questioning. You were cast down for wanting the throne.
Today I watched an ICE agent. Today I watched an ICE agent. Today I watched an ICE agent choke a woman, push his thumbs into her eyes, and break the bones in her hands as he pushed her, screaming and terrified, into the back of his unmarked vehicle. 3 other masked, armed men helped him, while 4 others did crowd control. Her also terrified wife yelled their names at onlookers and said that they have children. They're U.S. citizens, of course. Not that that excuses that level of brutality to anyone else. Her name is Anna Brock. Also today, I watched ICE agents surround the home of a Native American woman in St. Paul and demand that she hand over the DoorDash driver that had run inside of her home, fleeing them. They had just arrested her husband and son from her car and were demanding access into the home to seize her as well, despite her having documentation. Agents surrounded the home, guns drawn, went into the backyard, insisting that the homeowner hand over this woman or things would get worse for them. You don't even know her. Without any sort of warrant, the homeowner, in a panic, informs us that she has a small child in the house. She is gripped with fear that these agents will kill her, kill her child, kill this woman in front of her and her child. The situation goes on for far too long, and it is incredibly tense. There's a lot of screaming, crying, begging, apologizing. The police on the phone make the situation worse. ICE finally leave as neighbors start to file out into the street to watch what's happening. Now remember, there is no warrant, and the driver has documentation. It's like watching a hostage scene. It is deeply unnerving. By the time that you're seeing this, it will be tomorrow. And I can only hope that there's not some new horrible, horrible thing that we have all had to watch. There is a sickness in this country, a rot. And it has been festering for a long time. A long, violent history that until now has not touched people that look like me. A rot and a wound that should have been dealt with 161 years ago. This wound, it doesn't go away with Donald Trump or Stephen Miller or Kristi Noem, because they're byproducts of this sickness. There are different paths ahead of us, and some of them are very, very dark. And we are fast approaching that fork in the road. If you think this won't touch you, I promise you that it will. You are not being made any safer. You are not being handed prosperity. And if we don't deal with what we all know is the problem, we will be here again. And your white skin will not save you from a violent, authoritarian dystopia brought to you by Palantir. You have infinitely more in common with immigrants than you do the class of people that have been destabilizing those same immigrants' home countries for decades now. And the people with all the money and power in the world want you to think otherwise. That benefits them. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about how so many of us are breaking right now. I'm going to tell you that you have a decision to make. And there is one logical choice. We have power together.
As I've said,
have a good day.
There's been a lot of odd screaming and yelling.
Today I watched an ICE agent choke a woman, push his thumbs into her eyes, and break the bones in her hands as he pushed her, screaming,
"Get out."
The government said it's a no-no to jailbreak your radio. So, if you happen to have a TID H8 radio, you would not want to accidentally hold down the side button, the pound button, and then accidentally turn it on. Because if you did that, it would accidentally unlock all of the frequencies available on this ham radio. Now, one of the things that always comes up with these ham radios, there's always going to be people in the comments saying that you have to have a license to transmit. My argument to that would be that that's partially true. Now, I will get to the reason why that's partially true here in just a second, but there is absolutely nothing that says that if you can receive it, that you can't listen to it. If your radio can pick it up, you can absolutely listen to it without any license whatsoever. The other cool thing about this radio, it's both a ham and a GMRS radio, and one of the things that unlocking or jailbreaking it does is it opens up all of the frequencies for ham and GMRS. Alright, so why am I saying that it's partially true that you need a license to transmit? The FCC actually states that in their own documentation, if you are in a true life and death situation, if you're in a true emergency, you have no other means to call for help, you're authorized and in fact encouraged to go ahead and use your radio to call for help, even if you don't have a license. So we're seeing all of these attacks all over the world, right? We're seeing terrorist attacks, we're seeing power grid failures, we're seeing all sorts of things. make sure you have some other alternative means of communication available to you that might save you and your family's life in the event of emergency. If you see the orange cart below, they're still in stock. Grab yours now. The government says it's a no-no to jailbreak your radio. So if you happen to have a TID H8 ham radio, you would not want to accidentally hold down the side button, the pound button, and then accidentally turn it on. Because if you did that, it would accidentally unlock all of the frequencies available on this ham radio. Now, one of
Want to talk penalties when the game is on?
A blessing on those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they will be satisfied eventually.
This creator got over 20 million views just because. Hey, so I live in Minneapolis and I work in Minneapolis.
Thank you for caring. I really want to tell you guys about these mini invisible headphones. I am a person who wears headphones to sleep. I have listened to a podcast every single night for the last 5 years. And these ones are super comfortable. This is how they look in the case. And I already have one in. And you can really barely see it. When I'm laying flat on...
Say there was a man named Jesus, and that there is fatal doubt that he had a way of thinking every person should try out. But not long after this man's words across the land began to spread, influential man of power started twisting what he said.
Sex, language, religion, politics, or where they were born, race, class, sex, gender, age, both ways, ability, national origin, genetics do not define
if they didn't come from here, feed the hungry. You might
to live in freedom and safety.
Not every person on this planet is as fortunate as you.
Everyone has the right to be free from slavery.
Now it's 2000 years later, and some say it's getting worse. These men are only getting louder and increasingly perverse.
Don't always deserve respect. Who watches the watchers be true, be you, be real, be kind.
Says it never hurts to go back to a subject and read.
Local authorities don't always deserve respect. Who watches the watchers be true, be you, be real, be kind. Everyone has the right to seek justice if their rights are violated. Laws are not always lawful. Authorities don't always deserve respect. Who watches the watchers be true, be you, be real, be kind.
Not every person on this planet is as fortunate as you.
Everyone has the right to be presumed.
You don't have to be a Christian to take on this point of view. Let us not forget that Jesus was a Muslim prophet too. Did you know that's really true? You can be a Hindu, Catholic, or a Buddhist. You don't even have to believe in a higher power. Don't touch your neighbor. It doesn't matter one bit if they didn't come from here. Feed the hungry.
Please notice when people do not have their own
country. Not every person on this planet is as fortunate as you.
To seek asylum from persecution, everyone has the right to a nationality.
Everyone has the right to marry or not marry.
Now as this song goes,
everyone has the right to own property. Owners should be careful not to violate the rights of people who don't own anything. Never let the only option for survival be destruction either way.
To remember there are
conscience of religion or no religion.
If we all just take a
peaceful assembly and association,
remember what is best. We are all just human beings. No one's better than the rest. Folks say that.
Security, we should all be living to once we in society can become fit enough to genuinely
right to work, to equal pay, to protection against unemployment, and the right to form and join trade unions. Everyone has the right to rest and leisure.
Peaceful protest.
Universal
Human
rights.
everything
Is
bullshit.
this is peaceful protest.
Has the right to a decent standard of living, including food, clothing, housing, medical care, and social services.
Everyone has the right to education. Learn from everyone. It's both the kind of teacher and student their entire lives. Let knowledge flow freely. Everyone has the right to participate in and enjoy culture, art, and science. Everyone has the right to a social and international order where the rights in this declaration can be fully realized. We have a duty to other people, and we should protect their rights and freedoms. Never let someone convince you to kill another or violate their own rights for this purpose.
Nobody can take away these rights and freedoms from us. Take chances, make mistakes, get messy.
Social orphananarchy has real love for you.
Science, bitches. Peaceful protest.
Universal
Human
rights.
everything is bullshit.
This is a peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.
I don't really want to stop, but it's 1:42 in the morning. Saturday night, right? In the entertainment district, Old Town, Portland. Make it make sense. 18th of January, 2026. I'm just gonna stop this recording and start a new one to keep it digestible. Universal human rights or everything really is bullshit. I super liked this. Anything that includes atheists too is like, thank you.